These are the top 10 fantasy series I need to read. Oh yeah, random top 10 video. No, this one isn't random. It's based on the fantasy subreddit. Most of you will probably know this, but every year the fantasy subreddit, rfantasy, has a poll for the top novels and book series in the fantasy and sci-fi genre. So I'm basing my top 10 list off this list. I've gone down this marking off the ones that I have read or at least started until I have 10 which I have not read at all. So first I'm going to go through the ones that I have read until I've got that list of 10 that I have not read, and then I will go through those, and then I'll also explain how I came up with a score and how you can actually figure out your own score, which could be fun for other people to have a look at. And I've actually created a website which lets you just calculate this score really simply. So firstly, going through the books that I have read or at least started the series. Number 1 is the Middle-earth universe. Obviously I've read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Currently I'm reading through the history of Middle-earth, which is Christopher Tolkien going through all his father's notes and showing the development of the whole of the Middle-earth and Lord of the Rings kind of setting. The last book I read of that series is number 4, The Shaping of Middle-earth, and the next one I'll be reading is volume 5, The Lost Road. Moving on to the next series, A Song of Ice and Fire. I have only read the first 2. This is the second one, so that's the last one I read, and it's many years since I read that, so I'm technically up to the 3rd book, but I'll probably go and restart it from the 1st book when the series is finally finished. I hear Martin's ready to publish those books any day now. Yep. Next up is The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I am currently reading the Life Ship Traders, so I've read the first one and I am moving on to the second one very soon. Next chunky series off the rank is The Wheel of Time. So I have read the 3rd one, The Dragon Reborn, so I am starting this one literally like next week. This is book 4, The Shadow Rising. The next one is the Discworld. Now, I've read, I think, about 30 of the Discworld. The last Discworld I read, which is actually kind of proto-Discworld, is Strata. This is kind of like Discworld number 0. It's not strictly part of the Discworld series, but it has elements of the Discworld in it. There is a flat world in this book, which is very much kind of like the Discworld, although this is sci-fi. The next Discworld book for me is Going Postal, but I don't have that one. Next series I've read is Mistborn. So this is the Hero of Ages. I've read all 3. I haven't gone on to the 2nd series yet. My next Brandon Sanderson is Warbreaker. Next up, there's a bit of a gap here. I have read Harry Potter many years ago. I really enjoyed it. That is book number 7. I think it must be about 15 years or something. Next one is the first standalone. It's Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I gave that one 4 stars. It was pretty good. Directly after that is Dune by Frank Herbert. I have read the first 6 books in the Dune series, i.e. the ones written by Frank Herbert. I don't know where my 6th one is. This is the 5th one, Heretics of Dune. Book 5 and book 6 are a little bit weird. And I'd kind of like to read more of the Dune series, but I don't know when I'll get to that. Following that is the Earthsea cycle. So I have read the first 3 books. The last one I read was The Farthest Shore, and this is like literally like 35 years ago or something ridiculous. Look at that old cover, so cool. And the next one would be Tahanu, although really, if I was going to be reading this series, I'd read the first 3 again and then read this 4th one and the 5th one. And is there a 6th one? Anyway. So that is my stack of read series from this list. So now we move on to the unread series. So these are the top 10 series I need to read according to the fantasy subreddit. Number 10 is the Cradle series by Will Wright. I don't have these. I have them in ebook format. And I have read one book by Will Wright. It was The House of Blades, which was the first book he wrote. I gave that 2 out of 5. So I would like to try the Cradle series. Hopefully it is much better than that first attempt. Apparently he was doing some writing course and he felt like he just needed to write something. So he wrote that. And I guess it shows. Anyway, I do hope to get to the Cradle series at some point. And I'm just going to move these books. Coming in at number 9 for me is the Locked Tomb series by Tamsyn Muir. This is the one series on this list that I really don't know anything about, except I've seen the cover of the first book, like Gideon the Ninth or something. So that's kind of low down on my priority list. So my number 8 series that I need to read is The Kingkiller Chronicle by Patrick Rothfuss. I do have Name of the Wind here. I would really love to read this series, but it isn't finished. I have a general rule that basically I won't read a series unless it's all published and I have them on my bookshelves. And so unfortunately this one falls into that category. I may make an exception because who knows whether that third book will ever be published. I think Patrick Rothfuss has been taking tips from George R.R. Martin, and so many people love this book. So that's my number 8. Number 7 is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. I don't have any of these, but I am thoroughly intrigued, really want to get to this series. It just sounds so much fun. Moving on to my number 6, it is The Gentleman Bastard series by Scott Lynch. So, the first book, The Lies of Loch Lamora. For some reason, I don't have a hankering to read this series. My daughter has read it and enjoyed it, and a friend has read it. Maybe it's just the title that puts me off. Getting down to the top 5 now. Number 5 is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I don't even have Red Rising. I happen to have Golden Sun, the second book here. And again, this falls into that unfinished series category, but I really do want to read this. My nephew has read it and really loves it. Coming in at number 4 is The Greenbone Saga by Fonda. Again, my daughter has read this and loved it. I don't have any physical copies. She borrowed it from the library, but this is one I want to get. I've heard such good things about it. Really want to get to this series. Most of you probably know what is in the top 3. Number 3 is the Malazan universe. I have Gardens of the Moon here ready to go. I don't have the full set of 10 books, but this is, wow, it's one of those daunting series, isn't it? It's like 1,000 pages per book. Well, actually, this first one's only 700. Only 700, he says. This is one I really want to sink my teeth into. Which means number 2 is The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sandow. This is The Way of Kings, book number 1. This is probably the series I most want to get to, and I will get there. My next book in the Cosmere universe is Wallbreaker, so I'll be getting to this very soon. Which means my number 1 series that I need to read, according to the fantasy subreddit, is The First Law World by Joe Abercrombie. I have the blade itself here. I think I have one more, but I don't have the entire series. And funnily enough, this is one of those series that I'm not sure whether I'm going to enjoy it or not, which is really weird. It's number 2 on this list. And, well, just based on the reviews of various booktubers that I respect, some of them are a bit disappointed with this. So I'm not as keen to get to this as I am to get to the Stormlight Archive. So that's my top 10 list of series I need to read. And you can figure out your top 10 list in the same way. My friend Dave and I created this super simple website. You go to rfantasyscore.com and you can figure out your Reddit fantasy score. You just mark off the books or series that you've read and it will give you a score. If you haven't read any in the top 10, then your score will be 10, which is the absolute lowest you can get. But so for example, I have read this, and I've read this, and you'll see as I tick things off, like I've read that, this line moves down. So I keep going. Wheel of Time, Discworld, I've read Mistborn, Harry Potter, Piranesi, June, Earthsea Cycle, and then I haven't read any of these. So therefore, these are the top 10 novels or series that I need to read. And this tells me that my R fantasy score is 20, because that is the number of the 10th unread series that I need to read. And obviously, the more you've read, the higher your score. So leave a comment down below. I'd like to know what score you get. And if you're a booktuber and want to do the same sort of video that I've just done, you can go into the booktuber presentation mode and just tag your video with hashtag rfantasyscore. I'm going to tag a couple of other booktubers. First, I'll tag Sam Not So Wise. He has a great channel and he does do tags, and I'd love to see what his score is. I'm also going to tag Ed over at Dutch Greybeard, and feel free to consider yourself tagged. I'd love to see any of your videos that use this particular tool. All right, I better get back to reading. See ya.